Hello, I'm Jim Fowler. In real life, I'm a physicist. However, from time to time, I like to think about some of life's even more complex issues. Today, I want to talk to you about an issue that TIAA-CREF, as a part of their concern for the greater good, has challenged its clients to think about. The question is, what can be done to increase the rate of personal saving in this country? To answer this question, we first need to understand why the rate of personal saving isn't greater. One answer is that presently many Americans are experiencing very difficult times, and accordingly, they can't even begin to think about saving. For survival will always trump saving. But in the past, when times were better, Americans still didn't save nearly enough. So let's talk about saving. Consider what squirrels do to prepare for the winter. Much time during the summer is spent finding and then burying nuts so that when winter comes, they will have something to eat. Then, throughout the winter, the squirrels dig up and eat these thousands of nuts that have been buried. You and I also need to squirrel away savings in order to prepare for our inevitable but often unforeseen winters, as well as for our retirements. President Obama recently put out a call to somehow make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. But as was the case in Aesop's fable, Belling the Cat, the difficulty lies in the details. The saying, "a penny saved is a penny earned," is familiar to all of us. But the problem is, we don't need pennies. And in time, the purchasing power of our savings is diminished because of inflation and taxes. On withdrawing the pennies that we have saved, unless inflation has been zero, we get back pennies that are reduced in purchasing power. Why then don't we save? I think in part the answer is that it's simply more fun to spend than it is to save. But a real part of the answer is that for the average person, an intelligent place to save, which is both inflation and tax protected, does not exist. Today, many savings accounts are in fact losing accounts. And which of you would choose to put your money in a losing account? If we expect Americans to save, or save more, then it needs to make financial sense for them to do so. What to do? My proposal is very simple. I propose that our government begin to encourage and help Americans to save by offering a people's bond. This would be a bond whose value was inflation indexed to a need-based market basket of goods and services covering food, clothing, housing, energy, healthcare, and educational cost. In addition, this bond would pay, say, 1.5% interest. Any cost of living earnings would not be taxed as they do not represent an increase in value, and only the 1.5% interest earnings would be taxed. Today, Americans save in a variety of places: savings accounts, mortgages, investment products, and retirement accounts. One could, in principle, remove the effects of inflation from all of these savings vehicles and apply taxes only on their gains, rather than their inflation-created apparent gains. However, the physicist in me says, begin simply. In other words, start with hydrogen and then move on to uranium. Therefore, today, as one giant step, I'm proposing the creation of a people's bond. The downside of this suggestion is that if such a savings vehicle were to exist, people, heaven forbid, would save, and therefore less money would be put back into today's goods and services economy. On the other hand, on redeeming this bond and assuming a non-zero rate of inflation, Americans would have more dollars to spend. Also, if yesterday's savers would have had in their savings an amount roughly equal to half a year's salary, the recent and ongoing financial crisis would probably not have happened, for this reserve would have helped them ride out the storm. Our government should therefore want to encourage and in fact help its citizens to save because savings underpin economic stability. Additionally, for this to happen, politicians will have to be willing to give up the convenience of inflation as a stealth tax and support the offering of this people's bond. Our committees long ago recognized that by himself he could not move the earth. What he said was, "Give me a lever and a place to stand, and I will move the earth." None of us individually can make this people's bond happen. If, however, TIAA-CREF's long financial shadow can serve as a lever and raise the rate, together with your support, a place to stand, then together we should be able to move the government to offer such a bond. And when they do, the savers will come. Thank you.